Hello and welcome. We are live on March 21st, the official first day of spring, as the equinox started last night at around 10 p.m. Eastern. So I'm so excited to be here with all of you who are joining us live. As you come on to the live cast, I'd love for you to introduce yourself. If you and I are not friends, then I won't be able to see who's joining us. So as you come on to the live cast, please say hello, introduce yourself by sharing your name and which city you're joining us from. Hello, Patricia. Nice to see you. Patricia says, Moon love from El Salvador. Hi from El Salvador. Hola. Nice to have you with us. Patricia is a fellow Moon mother. We did a training with Miranda Gray last summer. And so Patricia is a level 1 Moon mother. Welcome, Patricia. So as you come on, please do introduce yourself. Let us know your name and where you're joining us from. And I'm just going to have some water. Hello, Jocelyn from France. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here and for giving us the right time information for Europe. And yes, that was really helpful to realize that British summertime hasn't started and the rest of Europe, unlike North America, has not changed their clocks. So thank you. And Mancy is joining us. Hello, Mancy from California. Welcome. So as you join on, as I mentioned, please do introduce yourself. Let us know which city in the world you're joining us from. And as we all constellate in our circle, it's really helpful to know who's present as we're all holding space for each other. And soon we'll be setting our intentions for this beautiful full moon meditation that we're going to be doing together. Hello, Do. She's joining us from Portland. Welcome. And Kashona says she's joining us from DC. Welcome. Cassandra from Australia. How lovely. Welcome. And Ashley. Hello, Ashley from Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So feel free to say hello as you join. And I'm going to get us started with what we're up to this evening. So one of the ideas that I want to share with you tonight is a really big idea. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. And it's really at the heart of what Yoga Goddess is about. So if those of you who've just found us are joining us tonight for the first time, I will quickly introduce myself. I'm Zara Haji. I'm the founder and dreamer upper of Yoga Goddess, who I was inspired with back in 2007 was when the Yoga Goddess name was given to me through a meditation. And it came with the spiral logo, and I had no idea what the goddess was about. And it really started me on an incredible journey towards understanding the divine feminine and our connections through our menstrual cycles, the rhythms of the earth and the moon and the seasons. And it's been an incredible journey, which has led me to create the creation of the first fertility yoga program that incorporates the menstrual cycle, and so many other programs that we've created through Yoga Goddess that I invite you to explore if you're curious at yogagoddess.ca. So as I embarked on my very first exploration around our connection to the moon, I was astounded because I couldn't believe that as women, we don't know anything about our menstrual moon connection, that we're not taught anything about it. I'm just going to close my email because it's going to make noise. All right. So what I want to share with you tonight is an idea, as I said, a big idea that I've been thinking about for a long time. And that idea is that a woman's body is sacred. And yet there is so much shame in our culture around the female body. So I just want to open a little bit of a discussion tonight before we begin setting our intentions for tonight's meditation. And I just want to get a sense from all of you who are here with us tonight. So I have a few more people. Jacqueline is here from Toronto. Hi, Jacqueline. Jennifer from Toronto, welcome. Heidi's also here from Toronto, welcome. We have Parvati from the UAE. Thank you so much for being here. And we have Sherry Lovell from Australia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So I just want to go back to our topic, which is that a woman's body is sacred. And that's really at the heart of what I believe Yoga Goddess stands for. So I want to get a sense from all of you who are here tonight. You know, let's start with periods and your introduction, your very first introduction to menstruation. What was that like for you? Did you have a feeling of shame, of confusion, of celebration, of love of your body? What was that first experience of getting your very first period like for you? Would you put it in the category of shame, or would you put it in the category of sacredness? So let's just get a quick poll. Where does that fall into for you? And we have Tanya, who's joining us from Australia, Rena from the UK, and Jolly, I think it's, I forget what, Jolly Two Juice, I can't remember what your actual name is. I think it's Jocelyn, says she's watching the full moon right now as she's listening. Thank you. That's beautiful. So again, coming back to my question, your first menstruation, you can answer in one word. Was that experience for you one of celebration, maybe even sacredness, or was that more of an experience of shame, confusion, maybe even one of fear? Where would you categorize that for you? So I'm just going to give you a few moments to answer. All right, so let's see. Jocelyn says, my first periods was more linked to shame, that she was at a camp and trying to hide it. Thank you so much. Mansi says shame and guilt. And this idea of don't get pregnant now was what my mother said, she said. And Patricia says it was sad. I got my first period at the age of 12, and that was when my grandma died. I didn't go to the funeral. Wow. Sherry says shame. Mo says scary and shame, fear and confusion. Jacqueline says shame, pain, embarrassment. Rena, shame. Okay, so just to, set a framework for this conversation, the reason I wanted to take that quick poll is just to get a pulse for what I imagined would be true, that most of us were not introduced to our periods from a place of celebration, from a place of sacredness, but rather from this place of confusion, shame, embarrassment, secrecy, a feeling that you needed to hide it, that it wasn't something that you wanted other people to see or find out, or God forbid, you had like a blood stain on your pants or your dress. It's like the worst thing that could happen. And that's the let's say the broad culture around periods that most of us were introduced into from our first menstruation. And let's move on now to female sexuality. So the exploration of your sexuality. when you first became sexually active, was that an experience for you of excitement and celebration and sacredness? Or was it again an experience of shame, secrecy, confusion, a sense of lack of confidence and assurance? Again, I just want to take a quick pulse. You don't have to write a lot, but how many of us here were embracing our sexual expression from a place of excitement and joy and happiness versus a sense of confusion, shame, and like there was something potentially wrong with exploring our sexuality? So let's see. Tanya says embarrassing. Megan, okay, so I think we're still talking about periods, so I'm going to skip over and see. Let's see. Mansi says shame, guilt, fear. Heidi says shame and coercion. I think Stacy's referring to sexuality, so she says embarrassed. Ashley says a little bit of pride, a little bit of embarrassment, and a little bit of confusion. My mom told my family members one by one that I'm a woman, so we're back to periods, and they congratulated me, but I was confused about why I was being congratulated and what it means to be a woman now. That's a beautiful story. Thank you, Ashley, for sharing. And Jocelyn says excitement, trust, and love around her sexuality. Heidi says it was all about what he wanted, zero about my pleasure or desire or agency. Jacqueline Clark says confusion, pain, secrecy. Claudia says a lot of confusion, shame, and lack. Megan says excited and nervous. Ashley says my first sexual experience left me feeling ashamed. And Mo says I gave myself too young to the wrong man. Okay. So again, there's this coming to the next, big experience of being a woman, which is the expression of our sexuality. Most of us had a feeling of shame, of guilt, confusion. For me, it was definitely confusion because for my cultural and religious upbringing, there was a lot of shame and guilt around pleasure and sexuality. So there isn't, right now, so far, we haven't had a very positive trajectory as females in our experience of our female body as sacred. So the next big experience of the female body would be pregnancy and fertility. And as someone who works predominantly with women who struggle with infertility and miscarriage, that's what Yoga Goddess has evolved over the years to become very much a leading expert in supporting women through the fertility journey, whether it's because of recurrent miscarriage, whether it's because of unexplained infertility, whether it's secondary infertility, or that there is a kind of an actual physical problem like endometriosis or polycystic ovarian syndrome where IVF is really required. There's so many reasons why women struggle with their fertility. It's not one standalone reason, but oftentimes infertility gets lumped in one single category of whether you're a woman who can easily get pregnant or not. And so that pile of that category, that sort of bucket that we put infertility in, again, there's so much secrecy and shame around a woman not being able to have a baby easily. So whether or not you have your own story around fertility that fits into that, or there's another story. For some women, childbirth doesn't go exactly the way they expect or imagine or want childbirth to go. And again, there's guilt and shame. So in every stage of our expression of our feminine bodies and beings, we tend to be in a culture of shame, in a culture of embarrassment, of secrecy, of hiding, and there's not a real strong sense of sacredness and celebration, and really support and love for the female body. So I'm just quickly going through if there's anyone else that's given any information. Yeah, so if you want to share any experience of yours personally around fertility that you feel that you want to bring into the circle, please do. And I'm happy to give you a few moments to do that in case someone is writing. So as we're moving forward, and if you are writing, don't worry, you can keep writing and I'll come back to you. Just to circle back a little bit to why all of this shame around the female body. Now, there's many reasons, many theories. I've talked at length about this and written at length about this. You know, whether it's religious, patriarchal, you know, this legacy of shame around the sort of the policing of women's bodies, women's sexuality has been happening for thousands of years. So we're really in a new stage in terms of consciousness around the female body, the moon. So many of you will write to me and say, I was Googling periods and full moons, and that's how I found you. I realized that I've been on a red moon cycle for as long as I can remember, and the idea of being a healer and a red moon woman really resonates with me. So many women are waking up to their connection with the divine feminine. And this is really at the heart, in my opinion, of this really big shift that's happening in our consciousness as a global community around the sacred feminine. And that's really what we're here to tap into tonight. That's why I'm talking about this tonight before we start the meditation, to really set the stage for why do we want to meditate with the full moon? What is that connection to our femininity and to our womb centers? And why the womb? I love that question. Why the womb? Miranda answers that question in my interview with her around what the womb blessing is. So I want to talk about the womb blessing more towards the end of our evening tonight, and really talk about what having your own personal womb blessing can mean for your personal connection and embodiment of the sacred divine feminine. So coming back to this idea of shame versus sacredness. So if we have lived in a culture of shame for most of our lives, and maybe we still are feeling that experience of our bodies, whether it's because of period problems, whether it's because of some kind of sexual expression that feels limited or restricted, or whether it's because we want to conceive and we can't, or we haven't been able to, or we've experienced miscarriage and loss. That is all a really negative experience of ourselves as females. And so tonight, the intention that I asked everyone to think about before we started, and I'll talk about right now, is the whole purpose of tonight's full moon meditation is to look at what restrictions, what limitations on your expression of femaleness do you want to let go of. So if you want to take a moment right now to really maybe place your hands over your heart, maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and really just take a moment to ask, what restrictions, what limitations, what limiting beliefs around your femaleness? Could be your period, it could be your sexuality, or your fertility. What are you ready to release? Letting that answer come through gently. And if you want to share with us in detail, you can, or you can just say the word. Is it around your period, around your sexuality, or around your fertility that you are releasing a restricting or limiting belief tonight? So I'll give you a few moments. The question is, see if I wrote it down in a way. What restrictions or limitations do you want to release around your femaleness tonight? Is it related to your period, your fertility, or your sexuality? All right. So Jacqueline Clark says all three. Ashley says fertility. Jocelyn says sexuality. Heidi says sexuality. Kim Marie says fertility. Claudia says all three. Harvon says sexuality and fertility. Jennifer, all three. And Mo says she's ready to release that I'm not enough, and I'm ready to release my fear and belief that I'm not enough. Beautiful. Brianne says sexuality. Muncie says period as a signal of not being pregnant. Very specific. Thank you, Muncie. Patricia says sexuality. And I think it's ballet virtuose. I forget your name. Is it Dominique? Says fertility. And Mo, I am. Okay. And for me, it would be, I've been having some thoughts around my period, so I'll include my period, but predominantly my fertility as well. All right, Mo says sexuality and period. Beautiful. So know that your intention, what you're holding in your heart tonight to release, we are all holding it with you in the sacred circle, and that all of our intentions are also being held by everyone else. So together, we're really supporting each other in this celebration of our sacredness as women. And as we gather as women in circle, whether it's in virtual circle like we're doing tonight, or in physical circle when we gather with other women, there is such a power in this kind of community that we co-create. And as women, the kind of healing that we can co-facilitate together is such a gift. So I just want to thank you all for co-creating this circle with me tonight. All right. So Sherry says, pain of period, letting go of expectations. Patricia, releasing old beliefs. Beautiful. Okay. So let's get ready. Just checking if there's anything else. All right. All right. So as we're getting started, tonight's meditation, as if you're on our email list, you would have gotten sort of a preview of what's coming tonight. And we're following, we're on the womb blessing path, the path that Miranda Gray has created for us. And I, who am a certified level 2 moon mother, have studied with Miranda Gray, and this particular meditation that we're doing tonight is part of a global meditation of women all over the world who are participating at different times of the day. And tonight's meditation on the full moon, we're going to be receiving the energy of the lilac moon rays. So there's a different moon ray color every month, and we're going to be receiving the lilac moon rays, which is all about releasing the limitations and restrictions around our femininity, but also really bringing in this beautiful, beautiful lightness and softness, and receiving that into our womb. So we'll be channeling this energy together tonight. And afterwards, I'll share with you how to make this sacredness that we're channeling not just a random, once in a while full moon meditation kind of thing, but something that you can infuse into your womb as a real solid, permanent connection that you can lean on and can support you and can really be a source of your own connection to the divine feminine. So I'll talk about that more at the end of tonight's live cast. Okay, so as we get ready, if you have a shawl that is lilac colored, I invite you to wrap yourself with that shawl. I'm just going to keep mine on as I have it and just drape it over my shoulders. And so there's a little bit of lilac color here and there in the shawl. Right, okay. And get into a relaxed position. You can lie down if that feels better for you, or you can sit up. And when you're ready, just sit into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take a few centering breaths. Feel your weight on the floor or on the chair. Feel the weight of your body sinking in to the support beneath you. Bring your awareness down to your lower belly. Feel, know, or see that your womb tree lies within your lower belly. Its beautiful trunk splits into two main branches, and they are full of deep green leaves, white, small white flowers, and red jewel-like fruits on the ends. The tree's roots grow down deep into the darkness of the earth. Follow them down. Now become aware of the full moon above you, bathing you in the most beautiful silver white light. Within this silver white light lie all the colors of the rainbow, softened into a gentler feminine vibration. See or feel that within the moonlight are individual rays of lilac light. The lilac light flows over you and through you, down your body and into your womb center. Open your womb and let it fill with color and energy and love of the moon mother. Repeat in your mind, I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of lilac moonlight. I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of lilac moonlight. I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of lilac moonlight. Keep repeating this in your mind. Relax, open your womb. Let the moon bathe you in her beautiful white, silver white light, focusing on the lilac moon ray. Open your womb to receive the love and energy of the lilac moonlight. I open my womb center with love to receive the energies of lilac moonlight. Let this energy flow into your womb for the next few minutes in silence. Notice how you feel and what you sense and see. Take a deep breath and grow your womb tree roots down deep into the darkness of the earth. Bring your awareness to your heart and feel gratitude for the healing gift of the Moon Mother. Take a deep breath, smile, and open your eyes when you're ready. So, what did you feel? What did you see? What did you feel? Or what did you see? Please share with us in the comments. I'll give you a few minutes to write, a few moments. What did you notice? What did you see? What did you notice? Or what did you see? What feelings came through for you in the lilac moon rays? Stacy says, releasing of feelings of guilt I was hanging on to. Heidi says, I felt extreme peace. And Harvan says, a gentle green glow and a sharp instrument being taken out of a funnel-shaped object. Wow. Mo says, I felt love and support and saw beautiful colors all around me. Claudia says, I felt restless and grounded at the same time. Beautiful. So if you're still writing, keep writing and send it when you're ready. I just want to circle back to the question that I opened with, or the statement, the big idea that a woman's body is sacred. And the exploration that we went through at the beginning of our live cast is really more around the opposite experience of our sacredness. And so, what do we do as a collective to heal the feminine? What can we do individually as individual women to really contribute to our reconnection to our divine feminine? The womb is actually the home of your female soul. And so, with that understanding that there are, in fact, 5 female energy points in the womb, and when they're gently activated, you are reconnected to the archetypal goddess energies. There's 4 energies that manifest through our cycle. And a lot of times we're over dominant in one energy and we're more depleted in another energy. And it can be, depends on many different factors. But when you have your own personal womb blessing and womb healing, one of the things that we do is actually check the 4 energy points of your womb center to feel which points are depleted, which points are overactive. We balance all of the points out so that your expression, one point is very specifically about sexuality, one point is very specifically about fertility, another point is very specifically about that go, getting it done kind of energy, which is akin to the maiden energy in springtime that we're in now. And the other point is about our transition into our later years when we're no longer cycling and menstruating. And it is really the time of the crone. And a lot of times, and that energy is connected to the period energy. So all of these points, they live in the 4 energy centers of the womb. And there's a 5th, which balances it all. So part of the womb blessing, when you have your own personal womb blessing, is an actual physical balancing of those energy points. So the reason I'm bringing that up is I would love to invite you, each and every one of you deserves to experience your female body as sacred. It is really your birthright as a woman to experience yourself as a sacred being, to be free of shame, to be free of guilt, to be free of repression of your feminine expression. Oh, that rhymes. And to really feel a sense of abundance and blossoming and sacredness and specialness. And really, the springtime is such a beautiful time to blossom into the full expression of your femininity. And so I'm opening the doors to having a personal womb blessing with me. And we're currently having a special offer right now that if you decide you'd like to have a womb blessing with me in the months of spring, we're giving $50 off each womb blessing. If you have one, if you decide that you want to have 4, you get $300 off the package of 4. And so my hope is that this spring is really an opportunity for you to step out into your feminine expression, to step into your own healing and blossoming as a feminine being, and to really fully embody that sacredness, especially if you have some type of imbalance, whether it's related to your period, whether it's related to your sexuality, or whether it's related to your fertility. So if you'd like to see what womb blessings are about in more detail, you can check out my page, yogagoddess.ca/womb-blessing, and all the information is there. And I'd love to see you in person if you're in Toronto. But if you're not, we can do a blessing over the phone. And there's also moon mothers all over the world in every city. At least in the US, there's probably a moon mother in every city. Here in Canada, we also have moon mothers all over the country. In Europe, there are many moon mothers. So wherever you reside, you can also check to find an authorized moon mother where you live for a personal womb blessing, one-on-one. And I really encourage you, as a woman who's on this path to rediscovering her sacredness, that you give yourself this gift. So I'm just going to go back to our comments and see what else you have said. Claudia says, oh, I said that already. Okay, Patricia says, I felt the warm light inside of me. And Mo said, I felt calm and at peace, compassion. Jacqueline says, I felt a lot of peace. I saw a lot of water and waves. Beautiful. And Ballet says, I felt sparkling, colorful light bathing my body and a warm breeze, peaceful and blessed. Beautiful. Jennifer says, I was walking on a beach and then I found a waterfall. So beautiful. Patricia says, I'm already in menopause and felt my womb so alive and full. Beautiful. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing your energy with us tonight, for receiving the lilac moon rays together with all of us in circle, in this beautiful virtual circle, whether you're joining us live or we're joining us on the replay. Just know that you're being held in the energy of our circle. And even though the circle is now open, the energy is never broken. So thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing in the full moon with me and with all of us. And I hope that I see some of you or speak to some of you on the phone very soon this spring for your own personal womb blessing, to reinitiate you into that divine feminine energy in your womb. Sending you lots of full moon equinox love. This is the first time in 19 years that we've had a full moon on the equinox. So it's such a lovely treat to get to share it with all of you. And I look forward to seeing you all under the next full moon. Bye for now.